No music, Glad we getting right into the show, bro. We ain't got time for no music today, bro. Dang, Glay. All right, well then I will play some music if I gotta play some music. Get you in the screen. Yeah. Come on, Glay. Where you at, baby?
Yeah, sick.
Welcome, 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 man. My fault. That's on me. That wasn't the smooth transition. That wasn't the smooth transition. Man, welcome, welcome, welcome. Turn it down a little bit. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As you're joining, please make sure that you like. That's all you got to do. You don't have to subscribe. You don't have to subscribe just yet. You don't have to subscribe just yet, but just like. Do us a favor and like. I got to clean these glasses. I need my mom to come clean my glasses. She does it the best. They're all right. They're all right. How's everybody doing? Let's see who we got in the building. We got Omni Stripe tapping in early. Grand Rising. Good morning, everyone. What's up, Omni? Hopefully all is well. All is well. Let's see. We got Finn tapping in. If you do the job in a principled way with diligence and energy, the rest will follow. Simple. Let's get back to the simplicity of these principles, all right? If you do the job in a principled way with diligence and energy, the rest will follow. The Honorable Marcus Aurelius. All right, happiness is the meaning and the purpose of life. Happiness is the meaning and purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence. I think we got to stop right there real quick, Glay.
Okay. Get into it.
I'm gonna tell you why. So I was talking to my young boy. Maybe I actually mentioned this to you. Did I mention this before? I was talking to my young boy about how he learned certain lessons.
Oh yeah, and you feel like you taught him how to not be happy in some type of
like I taught him certain things, but I never was focusing on happiness.
Yeah.
Like I never included that in the pot. Like it was like, bro, you want to go? You go out there and outwork everybody. It doesn't matter what you feel like, doesn't matter all this, go work. And if I had to lean one way or another, I'm always going to lean the way that way. You know what I mean? Rather than just telling somebody, just be happy. But there needs to be, and maybe it's something that you graduate to, or I don't know. I used to look at happiness as something that you graduate to, but I think I think more so for me, I don't know about everybody else. Y'all can tell me how y'all feel, but I think the happiness for me, and I would venture out and say that this may be the case with a lot of men, maybe and women as well. But I think it's just different as far. No, it's. Let me just say it. When I'm in my purpose. When I'm in my purpose. But the thing I was going to say about men, I think it's different. Obviously, I think we have different purposes. So for men, I think it's when we're working hard, we're checking things off our list, we're accomplishing our goals, we're coming home exhausted. You know what I'm saying? But doing meaningful and purposeful work. Not to say that that's not the case with women. I just think we have different roles. But I think that when I can attach my purpose or really lean into my purpose, that's what makes me happy. And perhaps maybe that's why a lot of these people that make a lot of money and doing a lot of different things, whether it's some of the people that were at this conference that I was telling you about, or just overall, you see these people that talk about, yeah, money can't buy you happiness. Well, perhaps that's just the way you got the money. Because if I feel like when this money starts coming in and you living in your purpose, yeah, I'm gonna be happy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about it. I'm gonna be happy.
Yeah.
I look forward to the day when I could say, well, maybe this is, yeah, well, that's, you got to graduate to that position. Like that's a level of privilege that I haven't tapped into yet. But like I said, maybe it all centers around purpose. So I really like this quote, Finn. Shout out to you for that. See, Glay, you thought that was going to be a long convo.
Well, you started
I,
to.
I amped it up, right? I did it. I was leaning in.
You were starting to go down that road, and that would have been okay though, because I think it's definitely an important conversation.
Right.
And I think, you couldn't inform him of something that you personally didn't know. Like when he knew you, who's to say that you knew what happiness was per se? Like your
Yeah.
definition of happiness has changed so many times.
Yeah.
And to be honest, who's to say that you have ever achieved by your definition of what happiness is?
Yeah.
And people will look at that and say it sounds like this, like almost like pessimistic or depressive state of mind. But it's like we want to be very clear in saying like, no. Like it's just a very general term that we can say that more common people can relate to. But the ones that know kind of know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
They know Dak in a good space. It's like niggas got shit he want to pop off real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, but to be able to differentiate, I'm not happy, and cause I'm happy, but I got shit to do. Everybody can't relate to that message. So when we do say men typically or in general or et cetera, men have to go through that journey, because as you notice, as you've gotten older, your definition of happiness have shifted from you being happy and more or less you putting smiles on other faces. And that comes with wisdom, that comes with time, that comes with experience. But when you were younger, the things that made you happy directly impacted you. Specifically. Oh, I want to make it here, or I want to get this, or I want to drive this. It was a lot of what you wanted. But now when you talk about the definition of happiness and success, it's seldomly ever, if any ever, you. It's always a group. Mom, dad, Maya. It's a list of people. So you can't give him that game. It was too early for it.
Yeah.
But you gave him the foundational principles that should give you enough to find your definition of it.
Yeah.
And that's all you could have done. And if he really leans into what you gave him fundamentally, he'll realize that you gave him everything he needed to find happiness. You just didn't give him the direct definition for him, which it wasn't your place to begin with.
Yeah. And his happiness may be a bit different. And hopefully I think when we're just genuine with people, hopefully they can appreciate it. Whether you make a mistake or not, you could say, and I told him, I was like, bro, my bad. Like I wasn't able to focus on these things that, now I would have definitely focused on. And who's to say, we're armchair quarterbacking that. We're looking at it. Maybe if I would have focused on happiness when it comes to him, he wouldn't have achieved, the things that he was able to achieve just by being locked in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's neither here nor there. And this is the balance, I guess, that you said, wisdom, it comes with age, comes with experience.
Yeah, it's a growing process. So it's like, that's the good thing that's what I love about like the opportunity that parenting has, or like our parents have, is like most people assume, or from when I was growing up, I always assumed like, yo, once you hit 18, 19, get up out of here, go figure that shit out. But I'm realizing as we grow older, bro, we need our parents more than ever in our 30s and 40s. And it's not for the same reason that we needed them at when we were 13 and 14. Yeah. We just be needing the parents to be like, hey, man, good job today. Damn, that holds just as much weight as you making sure I got clean clothes in high school.
Yeah.
So it's just like the parenting really never stops. And to be honest, it even exists after they're gone, because now it's about how did they prepare you? What did they leave behind? What experiences they experienced with you that now you have wisdom and experience. So when you do hit adversity, or you do go through things in general, or it's time for you to become the messenger, now you have the foundation. You always gonna give the footnotes back to, man, let me tell you how we got this. Let me tell you why I know about this. Me and my mom and my dad, we used to ba. So it's just like the evolving of parenting never stops. So you can't give really the definition, but what you did give is support. What you did give is confidence. You gave faith. You gave, I believe in you. I know what you can do, bro. Nigga, we how old? Man, we still be looking for that.
Yeah.
Half the time when we talk about, like, I know I've spoken this personally, but like when you dealing with certain girls, it's like, dang, you be thinking I need you to come in the house and be masculine, do all that. Girl, I just want you to tell me you got this. Lock in. That's all I need. I don't need you to go ahead and hustle and bustle and do all that and be all mad. Man, just tell me I got this shit. When I'm tired and it's the last scarcity, come on, you got it? Lock in. That's all I be needing. So it's just like the constant circle of support, man, that's all you need in life. You don't need nothing else.
Yeah.
We be thinking we need all that other stuff, bro. We just need somebody who ready to support, not ready to judge, ready to be there if we need a call. You know what I mean? When we was young, we had 20, 30 friends. Now you can count on one hand how many really friends, and you really can only count like one or two that's going to really slide when it's time. So it's just like, look what life has taught you, that you may start this way, but then when it all said and done, when it really matters, man, damn, it's not what I thought it was. It was back then, it was all on me. You know what I mean? Type energy. So it's just, it switches up, man. So we got to continue to have that conversation. But I think what makes especially your story even more special is that you've sat down and focused on the focus of learning how to communicate to the masses. That's a skill set that a lot of men, period, I don't care successful or not, are not necessarily forced to learn. And the only connection that we have for humans to humans is communication. So if we're struggling in that sense, imagine how difficult life becomes. You exist on a planet where you don't speak the native language. So if we're sitting down choosing to learn how to speak to the masses, how to speak to the kids, how to speak to the suburbs, how to speak to the church, how to speak to all these places, bro, we have a skill that money can't buy. We have confidence in doors and in places that I don't care how rich you have. You don't pull up to the hood like I'm going to pull up. You don't talk to the kids like I talk to the kids. You don't go to the locker room like, oh, this is my spot. What's up, fam? I saw you doing your shit. You ain't going to get that from making no money. And as you realize, they'll respect you more when you pull up in the locker room and it's all love than they'll ever respect just because you pull up in the Rari. They think this shit cool, but to be honest, when shit get tight, I'm not looking for my mans in the Rari. I'm looking for my mans in the bunker who down here with me. So as you grow older, you start realizing what's shiny ain't even the type of niggas you really want. You really want them cats that's ready to spend, that ain't even got much, that's ready to risk it all. Then you realize, oh, these are friends. This is the definition of friends that we've been using so generally when we were younger, et cetera. So
it's gonna be. Glay had a coffee this morning, man.
No, I took a shower.
Shower, Glay. I was going.
Yeah. It wakes me up. It's crazy to think that.
Yeah,
so that's the glaze, man. So
I didn't want to stop in the middle of that because you got to clip that up.
We'll tap in.
Yeah, we got to definitely do that, man. But that's you spot on with just the understanding, man, the growth, the parenting, all that stuff. And even from a parenting standpoint, when you become an adult, it's like a different level of conversation. You know what I mean? So it's more important in that way.
Yeah.
And it's just the wisdom becomes more and more appreciated. It seems like as we grow and we start to live out these experiences that our parents were living, and I'm like, yo, how you get through this? Like this joint, like how
and that makes the relationship
what
even
you
closer.
mean? Exactly.
That's what's so crazy, bro. As you get older, and you really when your parents raise you to be a man, or they raise you to be a person that likes to, has confidence and wants to really do good and continue the legacy, bro, the conversations that's what you have with your parents now, those are conversations that you ain't never had before. And those are the conversations that you need at this grown age, because they're really preparing you for when it's your turn. It's not that your parents are on the way out, but it's just like now you speak their language. Before you were speaking your language and they were speaking to you. But now you're in a space where your parents damn near look at you as an equal, although they look at you as your son and, or their kids. So now it's just a beautiful synergy. It's just a beautiful camaraderie that's going on now when your parents can finally let go of trying to protect you from something or trying to omit you from having a bad experience. The guard is down. Your parents are being real with you. And when you see the struggles, the things that they knew they didn't know, when they can admit that, when they can accept accountability, bro, it brings you even closer because now they don't have to put on a facade. They really being genuinely themselves. And I think that's what prepares us ultimately as we grow older to fall in love with our parents even more. And there's a new level of happiness that we have now because it includes family, not Ferrari.
Yeah, that's real, man.
Yeah.
It's different. Yeah, the things that we appreciate so much differently. And even if you want the Ferrari, it's like you want your family to ride in it.
Okay,
like,
how do I get a couple?
You know what I mean?
That's different.
Yeah, life is beautiful, bro. When we're not distracted by all the BS.
Mm-hmm.
Now that beauty is gonna come with some fights. Like we finna get into this. What we do on a daily basis, you know, but there's beauty at the end of it, and beauty through it. Nah, I don't want to say beauty at the end of it, but yeah, there's beauty going through it, and some happiness, and just striving to be better, striving to have a better family, striving to do certain things, putting certain responsibilities on your back, just so you can elevate your whole family. There, things of that nature. So
yeah,
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you, man. Yeah. So we've so we're gonna do our breath work. We're gonna go through our box breathing. We're gonna I feel like Glay already gave him enough. He already gave him enough. Like, that was a show's worth. That was a show's worth, man. We're gonna bring the rest of the show to Patreon. Y'all go ahead.
Y'all subscribe.
Oh man. Oh man. All right, man.
Who fucking up in the industry, man? Who we gotta check real quick?
All right, so this is the energy. So this is, take a look at the thumbnail. So put together this thumbnail, and I'm actually feeling good. I don't know why. Between last night, I was doing the review for Nick's show, and I realized, I was like, yo, this what we already know, it's all a cycle, right? It's all a cycle. And even the title of the show, when I was talking to Mama Lay, and she said the other day that, hold on, what's the Batman quote? I put it on the title of the show. But it's the darkest before dawn, or light comes before. Yeah, you don't. Hold on, let me look up the damn quote. I just looked it up. It's on the title of the show. Hold on, let me actually just look on here. But it's the night is darkest just before dawn. The Batman quote. Okay. And I'm realizing that all this is a cycle, and I've actually had this conversation with Pete. With Pete and Shag as well. And this is kind of what the concept was, again, about these conversations that we used to have with Pete, called this upward spiral. And it's like everything moves in a cycle, right? Everything moves in a cycle. And typically we look at like good times create, or easy times create weak men, the hard times create, we know that quote. So it's all a cycle that's going. But hopefully, instead of a cycle just like this, hopefully we can flip it, and it's more of a cycle like this, and we're continuing to elevate. So hopefully the weak or the hard times or the easy time, whatever, the weak people right here, hopefully it's still getting stronger, or we're moving in an upward spiral as we go through that cycle. So I was sitting here and I'm like, damn, you look around at the world, all this stuff that's going on, all this war. Not to say that this is the worst time, but I think we're living in times where things are moving in a dark direction, or have been moving in a dark direction. And when I say that, I just mean focusing on more negative things. You turn on the news and it seems like things are just weighing heavier on people. It seems like there's not as much hope. It seems like there's just not as much happiness, to your point. It seems like we're just in a space where people are losing faith and losing any hope that we can actually get out of this. It seems like we're getting ready to go into a world war. It seems like the people that are stoking that fire, the neoconservatives, it seems like they're winning. They have the dominant influence. But then I realized, I'm like, the more we move in that direction, the more people are going to fiend and yearn for something in a different direction. People are going to want good. People are going to want the happiness. People are going to want positivity. People aren't going to be able to get maybe finessed as much with all the fear mongering to hate each other. Hopefully we can kind of snap out of it and wake up and realize, like, all right, this is not the right way that we've been moving. So I didn't even know this this scripture. I kind of just Googled something. I was looking for a picture and then came across this scripture, and it says, turn from evil and do good, seek peace and pursue it. And I think while a lot of people like MSNBC, CNN, Fox, what do? They rely on the fear mongering. They're not seeking peace. They're seeking creating as much chaos as possible because that increases their ratings. When I look at a lot of the things that Nick Fuentes may lean into, and we always talk about like, bro, you're using all this extra rhetoric to try to appeal to your lowest IQ, or the base of the lowest IQ base, you know what I'm saying, that you have, just being real, like, or the people that like you based on the lowest IQ reasons. Elon Musk, he put up something, and I'm going to put it on the screen, where he was talking about like, yeah, you shouldn't teach the history of America to the kids because it's creating a hatred for the country. This should be considered treason, and like a bunch of dumb stuff. And you just see the things that he's putting up on Instagram. You see what we don't even need to talk about Bibi Netanyahu. And based on not needing to talk about Bibi Netanyahu, we don't need to talk about Trump, like all the Venezuela, the Nigeria, the Greenland, the supporting Israel with Palestine, the Russia, Ukraine, not being able to create some peace there. Now, that's not obviously his fault, but us threatening Iran, all these different things, it seems like these people are taking us in a more evil place, just from my perspective. And last night, as I was watching Nick, I'm like, yo, he doesn't realize that he's actually leaning in the wrong direction, that this is going to cycle through. Like, there's going to be a point where, and I think it is with a lot of people calling out a lot of the stuff that Trump has done, just because that's the administration, but a lot of people who have kind of stepped away and are now looking at this from a standpoint like, nah, this isn't the place that we need to get to. So I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but it's just very hard for me to not believe that. I don't think it's going to be a course correction, like an automatic course correction. But I think that the more people hear from a lot of these voices, the more positive voices will be appreciated. The more people speak, preaching a spiritual awakening, you know, not just getting bogged down by tribalism and falling victim to a lot of the negative things that people are using religions for, but looking for some sort of enlightenment. I see that that's the direction. I don't know. And there's nothing telling me actually that we're going to get to that point, or that we're actually heading there, except for the fact that it's like, damn, this is getting so dark. It's like, there's gotta be some sort of light. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And it's just, maybe that's just a weird way of looking at it. I can't prove it. I don't know if I would, or how much I bet on it, but I really see that that's where things are moving, just because I think people need it. And I think when people need it, that's the only time when you hit that rock bottom, when you're just tired of all the negative stuff. Like, yo, forget all that negative stuff. Even if it's my side pushing the negative stuff that I used to just get on board with, I'm not with that either. So that's kind of the direction that I see us going. And maybe that's just blind faith. Maybe it's ignorant hope. I don't know exactly what you would call it, but that's what's been on my mind between last night and then waking up today.
Well, I think you have I think you definitely, you're setting the tone and the expectation of what it should be, regardless of where people are at. And, you know, rather than meeting people always where they're at, you're just giving them something to strive for. And I think I like to relate it to how we are in like middle school and high school, where it's like almost cool to go against the grain. It's cool to not necessarily listen to direction. It's cool to you know what I'm saying, walk into class a little later, be a little chippy. And nobody really says anything. Nobody really like, man, why don't you tighten up, bro? Because they consider corny. And I kind of look at it as like, it's really a similar concept as we've gotten older. Like, nobody really wants to say this is wrong as much as they want to do wrong. Nobody really wants to encourage the people that are saying, hey, man, like, quit all the bullshit. Like, those people are always standing alone. So if you really look at that childish concept, or just like that test model, or to get information from it, there's a point in time when people do get tired. And that's what I feel like you're kind of relating it to. It's just like, damn, dog, we've been acting up in the class all fucking day. like at some point somebody got like, yo, let's just chill, bro. Like, let's just chill type energy. And so we're hoping that we can continue to influence people to do better and know better. But I do notice that the things that where evil spends a lot of its time is where people are unhappy. And so if we really start peeling the layers to why so much demonic things not are just happening, but are also supported. Why is evil so comfortable being here? Why is making the wrong decision so a conversation all the time? Why aren't morals and ethics high on the priority list? Why is it always like, well, it's just politics, or like you always say, it's just business, so I'm prepared for you to say some shit that's going to violate me, et cetera, et cetera. Like, we're constantly moving down this path where people are so unhappy. They're thinking that this will be a competitive edge. They think if they throw a pencil across the classroom like the other niggas in the back who are the cool guys, it's up. Like, I'm going to get in. Like, they going to think I'm lit. And then that's not happening. You're doing bad and it's still not making you happy. This is a great segue from the first half of our conversation just on this pod. People aren't necessarily inherently bad. I don't believe that per se. And that may be my naive sense. I think people are taught bad. I think people are taught that there is a competitive edge to do the wrong thing. That if you violate somebody, there's a possibility that this may be your ticket to success. And so people are copying the answers on the test. No pun intended that. People are copying the answers on the test, but they're not necessarily focused on the work that's required to have the confidence to not necessarily go into that test and feel the need to look over your shoulder to copy somebody else's work. You know what I mean? So if we continue to teach people and inform people values, morals, confidence, these things that should bring the class as a unit confidence and excitement when it's test day, versus what we're seeing now is a bunch of people just coping with their ignorance or their lack of knowing how to achieve happiness. Damn, if I join the Republicans, maybe this would be it. Oh, damn. Well, if I join Nick and his rhetoric, maybe that'd be it. Oh, man. Like, they hunting and searching for what's happy because maybe they didn't have an environment or parentals that allowed them to know, look, man, happiness starts within. It's not exterior. Once you realize you've been exposed to so many walks of life, so many walks of people, and you have been in control of your happiness at a very young age, as you grow older, bro, you don't need validation. You may be concerned what people think, but as far as to say, like, look, man, I'm looking for approval from this, so I'm going to join this sorority, this fraternity, this political party, this, that, this, third. Bro, you don't really be looking out exterior for none of this. You really start from the inside. So we're doing a lot of the framework for a lot of adolescents that grew older that weren't given this skill set that me and you may have had, maybe whether that be through our parents, whether it be through sports, our environment. Yes, we're definitely blessed in that sense, and we didn't realize until later. So I'm excited that we always put this on the forefront. We are trying to encourage people to look within so that they don't feel the need to show out in class in order to get attention. You ain't got to say that, Nick, to get the attention you want. You can win the right way. You don't have to violate somebody because it's politics. You can win telling the truth, Trump. You don't have to violate somebody, Netanyahu. You can be reasonable. You can talk. We're letting you guys know it's okay to do good and you can win. So when we say we want to be successful, make money, it's not for no other reason to let motherfuckers know you don't have to bend over in any space in life in order to make it and be successful.
I like it, bro. I'm 100% on board with it. Everything that you're saying, that's kind of where, that's what I was feeling yesterday. That's what I was feeling today. And maybe it was like Mama Lay sent me some text yesterday, and I was really just thinking, I'm like, yo, people are on board, and this goes back to what we were talking about maybe a week or two ago, as far as like identifying an enemy. Now, I don't think however you look at it, and then being organizing. Like, organizing is very, and delegating, but I think it's more about organizing, but it's very underestimated from certain people. I know I've underestimated it as far as when you have certain people and you're creating a movement, you're gathering other people that feel the same way that may not be able to put the movement together by themselves. But somebody has to organize all these people that feel the same way, that just want to be decent people, that want to treat others the way that they want to be treated, that don't want to get bogged down by right versus left and all this tribalism stuff, us versus them, that just want to, I'll be good to you, you be good to me, we're good.
Simple as
like
that.
You know what I mean? As simple as that. So there's a lot of people out there, but what ends up happening is it's like with the politicians, they feed us only a couple different candidates. So just like we choose the lesser of two evils when it comes to choosing those candidates, because like going back to your earlier point, they've shown us that, oh, if you do this, if you violate this rule, if you have this, oh, it's just business. That's how you get ahead. Then everybody else is going to follow suit.
They
and
copying that.
Yo, that's the only way to get ahead.
That's how you make it to the top.
So now it's on whoever else. We got to create another option. People look at it from a political standpoint and say, oh, we need a third party, but it's the same thing when it comes to life. We need an alternative approach to what everybody else is given, to the people on this screen, to all the news stations. We need an alternative to all that, because regardless of all these people on this screen, and I could put up a bunch of Democrats and liberals on the screen with them, all of them, they all benefit from all the chaos and us pulling our hair out of our heads. They're putting money in their pockets as we're pulling our hair out of our heads, walking around feeling nervous, scared, fearful. You know what I mean? When we see somebody thinking that, oh, they're on the other side, it's damn near like you got grown-ups walking around like we're in Chicago or LA, acting like we in a gang, and we talking about politics. We talking about stuff that from a common sense standpoint and just common understanding, we should be able to understand all of this stuff. Just be a decent person.
Yeah.
So I'm with that. I'm with that.
You know who I think of when I think of somebody who has done and still to this day does continue to do a great job in not looking to violate individuals and been very successful, and who I've gravitated toward, Tim Tebow. I think he's a great example of somebody who is a winner, somebody who could believe in his faith, somebody who wasn't trying to necessarily push it on to hit person here or there, but somebody that was also in the trenches with his beliefs and his faith. You know what I mean? So I always think of how Tim Tebow was able to win and become one of the biggest names in history at one point, and did it in such a special way where we spoke of Tim Tebow's name, and I never heard no scandals, I never heard no BS, I never heard no this, and he was still hated. People still had a problem. Oh, he doing that too much. Oh, he this, he that. So I think that's a great example of like somebody who had the blueprint and just kind of walked in his faith, but at the same time showed people like, bro, I can lead one of the best teams in the country, and I ain't got to speak bad on nobody. I ain't got to violate nobody. I ain't got to X, Y, and Z. I control what I can control, which is my hard work, my dedication, et cetera, and then I can go win at a high level and then put them all the way through the league and damn near to the play and all the way to the playoffs. So he's definitely one of those people that walk it, how he talk it, energy that I've always fought to it. And I think those are the people that there's room for more people like that. Tim Tebow gonna talk to his team, and we've seen those Florida on Netflix. He gonna yell at his team, and it's to me that's our Derek Cox. Cox to me was a very similar structure path where he communicated in a way where it's like his work ethic is why you didn't say no funny shit when he spoke. You didn't try to crack the jokes when you saw he was serious. When he joking, cool. But if he was only mouth, we wouldn't have respected him. And so that's why we're excited for our pursuit of happiness and to help people establish that the happiness is within them. But also, we're also looking to be successful because we know when the shoe is on the other foot and we're the OGs, maybe in the chat, and there are a couple young bulls trying to pave the way. We know what that looks like, and we know exactly what we need to provide. And we got to big up those people that are doing those things, the Miss Rachel, the Tim Tebows, the Dax, things of that nature. We got to ensure that these people are having the support of us, and we are vocal about it. Y'all don't understand how somebody just saying in the chat, man, we love y'all. Bro, we get off, bro. Like, we be hyped, bro. That's like sending a super chat to us. That don't mean don't send a super chat. But you know what I mean? Like, we vibes with that joint. So the good gonna win, bro. We just gotta have structure. We can't assume that evil things disappear on their own. We have to have a true focus on, all right, what's our proposal to attack this? How do we get to the top? How do we shine a light brighter than evil? Or do we always have to wait it out and be on defense when evil's in the room? How do we create an offensive scheme to win? How do we funnel people to being happy versus thinking that these are the things that are going to make you happy? So we're just continue to help people define the definition of happiness, because we know it's not as easy as they claim it to be. Bro, I can't even necessarily to tell you what happiness is. I can just tell you there's a consistent emotion, there's a feeling, there's one note inside of your body or your heart that gives you some type of emotion that for some reason, no matter what you do, doesn't change. It's the same tone, it's the same sound that you hear as you continue to grow older. And so it's like this one strain on your heart that doesn't change until you feel like you've accomplished what you've accomplished. So imagine walking around with a book bag that's a 50-pound weight. To me, that's the definition of happiness. And until you find your destination, you can't take the book bag off. So you walk around with this weight and you like, damn, is it here? Nah, this ain't the spot. Is it here? Damn, this ain't the spot. Is it here? Damn, this ain't the spot. You looking for the happiness because you want to finally take that book bag off, put that book bag down, and finally say, we here, bro. Mm-hmm. Unpack, bro. We here to stay. We ain't got to worry about leaving in a couple weeks, bro. We found it. Everybody, this is home. And that's all happiness is. It's just your search for home. And because we all have different homes per se, we have to give people the foundational way of how to even go about that climb, that march. Some people just stay wherever they're at, and that's typically where they started. So they don't ever, you know how difficult the pursuit of happiness is? That means you are ultimately putting things on you're putting things on the line. You're running a risk. It's a scary path. You're leaving the home with a book bag and you're hoping to find your destination with no map, and you're going off of feeling and emotion in the environment around you, hoping to find it in the next 30 years. Bro, that's wild. Go into the Amazon and go find this, and I'm not going to tell you any information about it. That's happiness. So what we're doing is, as we're following our journey and we're creating our roadmap and we're building this plane as we're falling, we are also trying to leave a trail, breadcrumbs behind for the other next generation, but also this generation who may not have been as willing to go pursue that definition of happiness per se. They might find happiness in seeing that Brian and Dak is happy. That may make that wait a little bit easier for them. They may be excited to say, look, man, I didn't have the time to chase my dream, but damn, I get excited when these motherfuckers chase theirs. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes that make a nigga happy. That's how your parents are. They might not achieve success. They might not get the Rari in the penthouse. But shit, if my son do it, man, it's up. First round draft pick, let's go. Yeah. So you people, you start to begin to notice, like, all right, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna sit on this motherfucker, I'm gonna go get it. And if I'm not gonna go get it, then let me go find the motherfuckers who is gonna go get it, and let me support them. And you know what? That makes me innately happy that they're chasing their dream, although maybe I'm not willing to chase mine for whatever those circumstances are.
Nah, spot on, bro. That's another one. I mean, everything from the beginning that you were talking about, and it stood out when you were talking about like good, like pursuing good, and it reminded me of, hard, that saying, like, hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard.
Yeah.
Like, that's the same thing with good, whatever we determine as good, you know what I mean? Or positivity. Mm-hmm. It's, and you mentioned this actually in your earlier statement. I'm not sure if everybody caught it, but you were talking about the kids in the class. When the kids in the class who want to do bad more than the actual other kids want to correct the bad behavior. So it's the same thing with now. The people that are trying to do evil, they want to do evil more than we want to speak out and tell them, nah, y'all can't do evil.
I got chill.
So, you know what I'm saying? So it's always that thing. And it's like, yeah, yeah, good may be the talent. Happiness may be the talent. But if you're not working hard to make sure that stuff is good, then that bad that is going to be working hard, that's always going to win. So we can't just sit back and just say, oh, you know, like, hey, I'm good. And that's just that. When other people on the other side, they're not using the same energy. So we have to be active. And maybe this is good. Maybe this is the work. You know, this is the work that is necessary, because who just wants to sit back and just get a reward for something that you're not actively pursuing? You know what I'm saying? You're not actively doing. So, yeah, I'm on board with everything that you said, from that to understanding the position that we're in, to understanding that, like, yo, there's a lot of people that want to see happiness and may find it in different ways and may find it in seeing other people. So, yeah, I'm just trying to repeat everything that you said. But, yeah, I'm on board with it, bro.
Yeah,
I'm on board with it. Almost to the point where I don't even want to engage in some of these clips that we're getting ready to watch, but we'll watch them because we got to understand, you know, who we're going up against. But I think us establishing the foundation that, like, yo, there's going to be some positivity on the other side of this, because every time we're reviewing these things, we're going to approach it from a solution-oriented perspective, which is like, okay, this is what they're doing. How can we combat this? How can we grow more of an audience that is against this and moving away from this direction? Let's point out exactly why we should move away from this direction, and let's lean into this more positive. So, yeah. If you don't want to elaborate on anything with that, this is kind of the direction that I was moving in. I wanted to show this Nick Fuentes clip because it highlights a lot of what's going on with Venezuela and with Iran. And you're seeing certain people, some people are okay with Iran, some people are not okay with Venezuela, vice versa. But it just seems like we're obviously getting involved in a lot of these other countries' issues for reasons that I don't deem like principled or morally sound when it comes to my understanding of it. But obviously everybody's going to look at it from their own perspective. So, or maybe we should start with, matter of fact, before we do that, I'm going to start off with showing you this Elon Musk thing that I was talking about earlier. So we'll start off with that first, get everybody's opinion and perspective, and go from there. Let me know if it's on the screen, Glad. I got my other screen open.
Yeah, it's yeah, you're good.
Elon, okay. All right. So this was an interesting post that Elon put up. And I haven't even looked at the graph, actually. I just looked at what he wrote, and we'll look at the graph as well. But it says, teaching people to hate America fundamentally destroys patriotism and the desire to defend our country. Such teaching should be viewed as treason, and those who do it in prison. So just from the first thing, like teaching people to hate America, well, yeah, I could see if you teach people to hate America, that would destroy patriotism. I understand that. But does that mean that you just lie to people about the existence or the history that one day they're going to be able to uncover and say, like, yo, this is not what was taught to me? That's kind of like a lot of the things that we face right now. And he was highlighting this article or this graph that it says in 2022, 45% of high schoolers polled say they were taught that America is built on stolen land in class at school, and another 22% heard it from an adult there. So let's expand this. And just from a conceptual standpoint, when it says in 2022, 45% of high schoolers polled say they were taught that America is built on stolen land, this just kind of shows how perspectives are all over the place, because I'm looking at it like, damn, only 45%? Like only 45% know that this land was founded by taking it from somebody else? Like, that's kind of crazy in itself. But they're kind of approaching it from a standpoint like 45% is too high to be teaching kids that. So it's a little bit all over the place.
Yeah.
And so I guess these are some of the graphs. I haven't even gotten into these graphs. It's actually a bit hard to see. So the first one says America is a systemically racist country. Then the next graph is, the next bar graph is, in America, white privilege, or in America, white people have white privilege. In America, white people have unconscious biases that negatively affect non-white people. America is built on stolen land. That's the one that I was focused on. In America is a patriarchal society, genders and identity. And we can understand how a lot of these things, teaching kids, may impact how they're seeing the world as they grow older. But identifying a problem is never the problem. Like, if it's a problem, in my opinion, this is just from my perspective, you should identify it and then just figure out a way to move forward from it. The fact that we have the richest man in the world who's living in America and obviously has a huge influence. He owns our platform, which is largely a way how we consume information, especially when we can't trust the mainstream media outlets.
Yep.
How do you, in your right mind, how are you okay with not teaching people the actual history of how this came about? Like, you're just cool with just whitewashing and brainwashing. And these are the same exact things that we see with other things going around, how we were conditioned to see Israel versus Palestine, all of these different things. And you realize it makes you just wonder, it makes you just go back and like say, damn, like, what else was I not taught or conveniently taught to push a particular agenda or to just get me to maybe see America in one way or another, rather than just for what it actually is? Like, I'm not sitting here saying that, if I hated America so much, I would leave. But I'm also not saying like, y'all need to teach the real history. Like, that's important. Like, imagine we're sitting here where we just watched a video yesterday where this lady on Meta, the Meta platform that Elon Musk calls out a lot, when him and Mark Zuckerberg about to fight, right? And he calls him out for censorship. But so you have the Meta lady that we saw yesterday, the Jewish lady, or speaking for the Jewish press or whatever, saying like, hey, we have to, if you are a Holocaust denier, then we're removing you or we're censoring you on X. But hold up. Isn't Elon preaching the same thing when you're denying the actual history of America? So it's like you just see all of these contradictions, and it just makes you realize more and more, whether it's right versus left, Democrat versus Republican, whoever it is that seems to have a lot of control in the society that we're living in today, it's all just bullshit. We are all just spoon-fed certain things to get us to see things from a particular view that benefits the person that's feeding us the information or whoever they answer to.
Absolutely.
So it's just a bunch of just contradictions. I don't even know if I have anything else to say on it, but it was just something that I'm sitting here thinking like, what, like, how is this okay? Like, I don't know. And maybe people have other views on it.
Yeah. It's just like, what are we doing here? Like you said, like, you get God, but you see, it confirms our thoughts on a guy like him, that he is willing to violate to win. He is willing to lie and deceive to win. He is willing to ignore the truth or the response from his employees or his team or his people that he may respect, and he will choose to violate them in order to, quote unquote, look a particular way or win, et cetera, et cetera. America likes to champion shit, those type of people. We like to say if their bank account is large and they're winners, it doesn't matter how about they go about that. So I find it so interesting how he wasn't talking all this, and I may be ignorant to it, but I don't recall him being on this side of just, it's always something white, black, et cetera, et cetera. I don't remember him being like this. And then now it's just like he got booted up out of there. Trump wasn't having it. However, they don't get along. And now look. So it's almost like, damn, you conformed in order to get this position in politics. Shit didn't pan out. And now look, like, now you back in your little bag looking for more attention.
Yeah.
Frustration. Yeah. Now you want to start throwing pencils in class now because the way that you went about it didn't work. So now you want to just go, now you want to go spit all this shit and talk all this shit. Like, this is the definition of money don't make you happy.
Yeah.
How the hell does he even care?
Yeah.
That goes to show you that the money, this one of the most richest people in the world, and he still finds a way to want attention, wants tribalism. Why? Because he doesn't know where his circle is when it's lunchtime. He got the coolest clothes on. He got the fly J's on. He got his new outfit. He got a new cut. But when he grab his school lunch and he come out of that room, there's no table for him to sit at. So he goes to the typical one where it pops shit and he can pull the tribalism play. Or I could go sit over here and, you know what, let me go over here where they pop shit, et cetera, because don't nobody want to sit with me. Yeah, bro, you just not cool enough. Like, you ain't got to start hating. You ain't sitting at, well, we may invite you, football players may invite you to sit at the table, but bro, you not here with us. You're not tapped in. You know what I mean? So it's just like, don't be mad now. Don't feel the need to go above and beyond to try to put your position, bro. You can't. Nah, we come with confidence, my boy. I'm sorry you don't have it at the top, but we got it out here at the bottom then. We're not concerned about all that. So you can continue to do all that and continue to try to fester attention. You can buy all the platforms you want. Mm-hmm. Bro, it shows how you move, my boy. You can't hide the way your actions show. At the end of the day, we not concerned about you, and you can keep tweeting your head off, bro. Ain't nobody paying attention. You still not that guy.
Yeah.
You still not that guy in that room. You said it down.
He found that out when with Trump.
Yeah.
Now he begging to get back in. Now you doing the most. Now you got
to trying to get in the mud. Yeah, like, nah, man, you ain't get out of here, bro.
Let me be a little racist to try to see if I can get back in the good graces.
Yeah. It's like let me. I need some people on my side type energy. Like, nah, bro. Shut that down, bro.
The richest person in the world, and you still not confident, still not. And when I say confident, it's like you get to a certain point, and like if you're still doing this bullshit, that means you're not confident. Like if you are successful and you're not pushing a positive energy, and you're not pushing like unity, I don't know. I just look at you as like more of a sucker. Like you're just not confident. You just still feel that you need to appeal to people in a particular way. Like, what's the point of even getting wealthy?
Getting money. I'm getting my money so I can step on shit.
Yeah, like, what's the point of being wealthy? You still feel like, oh, I gotta appeal to this person, that person. I don't know. Let's move on because I want to get into a little bit of conversation around Venezuela and Iran. It's a big story. I'm really hoping that we don't get involved with Iran. I look at Iran as just, and nobody knows what's going on. When we look at these protests, nobody actually knows what's going on.
You fucked my head up with that one yesterday because I was really locked into the Iran shit. I was like, because I work with a lot of people when I was at that restaurant.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I can't, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be vulnerable about what I be doing. I still try to show love and attention to it. But like in the back of my head, I'm like, I don't know, but I don't want to not show love and support because I don't know. I'd rather be wrong and show that, hey, y'all, we gotta speak up for these things than to assume that it's not real and then not show that love and support. And you know what I mean? It's more from like a community standpoint, because sometimes like rallying behind something because we so deep into this politics shit, it's like, damn, they don't even know this may be propaganda. They don't even know this might be fear mongering. They don't even know. And I'm like, damn, like, you know what? Let me just, you know what I'm saying? Like, get him out of here type energy. And it's really just for the morale of the American community. I want to teach Americans that you can rally behind somebody who don't look like you, that ain't from where you from, not from your block, not same gender, not same, whatever it may be. Like, we still gonna show love because that's what I want to define Americans should be able to do. We gonna show love and support whoever needs that support. But at the same time, I hear you because you like, damn, nigga, y'all niggas is getting involved in everybody's shit. You trying to help him with his homework. You trying to help him on his study guide. Nigga, we so stretched in, bro. You got a test. You got a midterm tomorrow. You so stretched out helping everybody else. Cuz we gonna fail this motherfucker, bruh. Tell them people they got figured out on their own. So it's a battle between the two because you keep fucking my head up with this, what it is. But then I'm like, damn, then what we gonna do? They need some help. We gotta help them type energy. So yeah.
But see, that's the thing. I'm all cool with helping, but I don't know what is helping.
Yeah,
like, I don't know. And one thing that I do know is that America's not doing anything to help people. So it just based on history, like you can't just. It's like fool me once, right? Shame on me. Fool me. No, America is not. Everybody in America knows, except maybe the small pocket of Venezuelans celebrating in Miami or the Iranians that you're talking to. They think that America is doing this because America is just a good nation that likes people.
Yeah.
No, they're doing that to fuck with y'all. They're doing that to extort y'all. They're doing the Iran because Israel wants them to do it. Like, it's not because, like, don't get fooled by Van Jones or even Cornel West. I'm looking at some of the videos. Don't be fooled by thinking that, oh, we're standing up for these people. I don't know what's going on there now. I still support them standing up for themselves, but you gotta help yourself first so we can even define what's real and what's not. Like, I don't even know what's going on over there.
Yeah, you gotta put that mask on you first, right?
Think about it, America. I don't know what's going on in America half the time.
You're right.
So now I'm supposed to figure out what's going on in Iran?
Yeah.
Just based on propaganda that I've seen over there. I don't know anything about what's going on over there. Now, when I look at Israel, Palestine, that's clear. Like, I see people being bombed. You tell me how it was created. Bibi Netanyahu tells me that. And I'm like, yeah, I disagree with what you're saying, Bibi. Like, not with propaganda, with what you're saying.
I hear you on the news.
Yeah, like, I hear you. I see what you're doing. But when it comes to Iran, I just don't trust America to be going in there with any good intentions. And also, that's just none of your business.
Yeah, because Trump definitely tweeted, we about to slide over there. We going to pop our shit, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, oh, well, didn't we have a beef with Iran earlier last year?
Yeah, well, with the nuclear weapons. And that's the thing. Why do we have a problem with them having nuclear weapons?
So that's now it's like, oh.
Like we have this mindset. And this is the thing why war and violence just doesn't work. Whether you like it or not is irrelevant. It just doesn't work. Here we are in America. Think about it from this standpoint. It's like sports. Maybe it's not like sports. It's definitely not like sports, but this is what sports is supposed to be. If you allow one team, let's say in a violent sport, or let's make it about, I wish it was more of a violent sport. Like, I want to use boxing, but let's use the Olympics. You got a boxing team, right? So it's a team. And you allow some teams to take steroids. You allow them to take steroids. Now, we're talking about fighting, a brutal sport, boxing. And then the other teams, they're not allowed to take steroids. Why should one country be allowed to defend themselves in a certain way or use steroids, but the other can't? Like, that just doesn't, from a logical standpoint, doesn't seem fair to me. Now, America, when it comes to the nuclear weapons, oh, no, you're not allowed to have a nuclear weapon. You're not like, well, what gives us the right to say that another country can't develop nuclear weapons? Like, just from that standpoint, it doesn't make sense to me.
Has anybody ever, in history of America, has anybody ever said why that is a thing?
I don't think that it's ever been challenged by any meaningful voice. And when I say meaningful, I mean like influential voice. I haven't seen it. Like, so just from that standpoint, like, so you're gonna bomb them because they're trying to develop what we've already developed?
Nobody knows the answer to that.
They haven't done much to us. We looked up the numbers as far as how many Americans have been killed based on a few with Iran. What did we do? Like the last 50 years, and it was a couple thousand. And that wasn't even like, it seems like that was like indirect or whatnot. So I don't understand. I don't understand. So what does America do? America and Israel, in my opinion, they go into Iran, they plant all these, they're just like Antifa, like we were talking about, like at the Black Lives Matter rallies. There's the protesters, then there's the paid ones that are just going in there to just wreck stuff. Like, hey, we need you to go do this, like go cause as much chaos as you can. That's what. So I see that the same thing, whether it's propaganda, being fed to a lot of the Iranians, all of this stuff. It's like you can come to America and convince kids that they were oppressed by their parents, and then you'll have a bunch of 15 and 16-year-olds running out and rallying, and you know what I'm saying? You can always rile up people. So I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know what's going on over there. But one thing that I do know is that, or that I strongly feel, is that America has no positive intentions when it comes to anything outside of America. And I don't even know if the people running America, I can't even say that they have positive intentions for America. So what makes me think that they're going to have positive intentions for an entirely different country outside of
when you put it like that, when we see just the basic necessities, interest rates, food, homelessness, public education, all the simple things that if America cared to fix, they could fix overnight. And it's like, if they don't even care about making sure that the FDA doesn't approve gums in chemicals in our children's food, if they can't even focus on not what's up, Samir? We ain't seen you in a while. If the food and making sure our kids get equal education across the board, if those things are up for question, if that pothole down Peachtree still got a fucking hole fucking up my car, if they don't even think that's important, then you right. Who the hell thinks that these motherfuckers gonna leave here and say, bet we about to go make sure this is doing okay over here because we care? They ain't fixed that pothole. I know they don't give a damn about over there. And it's a tough pill to swallow, man. It's, because not only is it a tough pill to swallow because it's true, and that shouldn't be a problem, but damn, when you finally find out that tooth fairy was your parents the whole time, and you grown, and all this struggle you've been going through to make it to the top, just for you to know this shit wasn't what it was supposed to be, you ready to take that shit out on them motherfucker, bro. Y'all shouldn't have kept lying to me this long. Like, this is some BS. So, yeah, man, it's just, you're right. Like, how can I expect when the Pentagon is failing its yearly audit test, that they about to go over there to Venezuela and make sure that is a positive, thriving, happy country? No, it's going to be some bullshit happening. And it just, what sucks about this, Dak, it makes it so difficult, I think for me, is it feels so difficult to get on board when we know that's the case, because we got the jersey on. I'm not accustomed to having a William and Mary jersey on and talking about William and Mary. I'm not accustomed to having a Carolina jersey on and talking about how trash the coach is. Like, I've never been one for that. I'll choose silence before I choose treason. And that's what makes this so compelling. It's like, damn, I really gotta talk about my squad? Damn, bro. Like,
but this is the difference.
Yeah.
This is our country. This was never designed to be the politicians' country. That's where we got it fucked up. We're not talking about the coaches. We're talking about our agents. They work for us. You get what I'm saying?
You're right.
These politicians are supposed to work for us. They're not supposed to lead us. We're supposed to figure that out on our own, and then we vote based on like who's going to execute on the things that we deem necessary. You get what I'm saying? So it's not. They try to make it seem like that, but no,
you're right.
You're a public servant.
You're right.
Serve. You are here to serve, and we get it messed up because a lot of people, they don't go into politics with that mindset, and we allow it. So that's on us. We need to audit. We need to do an audit when it comes to that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. That's exactly the mindset. You're right.
But they do present it to us like, oh, they're running the country. No, that's where it goes wrong.
Yeah.
That's what a democracy is supposed to be, because you put the power in the people rather than just an individual. You know what I'm saying? But we've just allowed our power to slip away by continuing to accept oh, well, they'll just give us two candidates. It's the lesser of two evils. We just buy into the system. That's why we become Democrats. We become Republicans. What's so funny is I heard Tucker Carlson talking the other day, and Tucker Carlson's growth, bro. Like I really like Tucker Carlson, bro.
He's one of my favorite, my boy.
Bro, I really like Tucker Carlson. You know what he said the other day?
Yeah.
This shit was so slick. And I think we've talked about this maybe before, but never, maybe me hearing Tucker say it just hit differently. But he said that he's always been a registered Democrat. Now, Tucker is clearly a conservative. Right. Clearly, I think that he would consider himself a Republican. Mm-hmm. He said that I always register as a Democrat because if I'm a registered Democrat, then I get to vote in the Democratic primary. So the primary happens to determine who's going to be the Democratic candidate. Only Democrats get to vote in that. You have to be registered to the party, which is what a lot of people are trying to fight and just say open primary. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So he always registered as a Democrat, so that way he can influence who's going to be the Democratic candidate. We look at this thing so backwards. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, hey, if you want liberal policies, you should actually register as a Republican.
Yeah,
because that's when you can determine at the furthest place that it'll go along the spectrum rather than so I'm just sitting here, I'm like, I ain't really like, I know that I've had I don't know. I don't remember fully having a conversation about it, and it just stuck out with Tucker, but I'm like, maybe it was so obvious that I just thought that I've had a conversation about it, but
it seems like a very in your face thing. Yeah. You're right. I don't think I've even ever heard that before.
Yeah. I'm like,
it just makes so much practical sense.
Yeah. And we fall so much victim to the political parties where it's like, oh, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican. Once that happens, we take our power away. Yeah. Our power is in the democracy.
Yeah. Being able to go like this.
Yeah. Think
not
about
go
it.
Like this.
Just with the Democrat and Republicans, let's say, I don't know how many. Hold on. Let me actually look this up before I sound crazy. How many people are in America? Okay, 342 to 348 million people. Let's say 100 million are registered as either Democrat or Republican. Just from a conceptual standpoint, don't hold me accountable to the numbers. But just by bringing in Democrats and Republican parties to the table, you just took 100 million soldiers that can think independently and freely, and you just turn them to two. Is it easier to control 100 million people or two people? You get what I'm saying?
Give it to me one more time.
So if you have to appeal to a bunch of individuals that are not just joining your gang, Bloods and Crips, right? Republicans and Democrats, and you have to make sense to the entire group of people, that's a very hard thing to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a very, you're going to be held accountable in a different way. But when you create Bloods and Crips and you break down those 100 million people, now you just broke them down into two groups. So now you only have to appeal to two people because now you only got to appeal to the leader of that group and the leader of this group.
How did you think
now
of that?
You take away all your power as an individual.
How did you think of that?
Bro, I just thought about it right now, bro. But when you by you becoming a Democrat or a Republican, you just completely destroyed all the power that people fought for to be free in this country.
Nigga, you special.
Bro, we special, bro. We building this joint. This the convo. These are the convos we gotta have.
That's so true.
Yeah. Now all you gotta do is appeal to one group at one. It's the same thing. It happens with religion. It happens with all of these groups. That's why they create these groups, because it's just easier to control people that are pledging an allegiance to a group rather than people that are just out here.
Every time I
That's
wake
how
up,
I'm looking at it.
Every time I wake up at 8, man, I learn some shit. That's so true. It eliminates the voting power because it's one side you're talking about.
Right. Like we went from having 100 million people. 100 million people are going to be thinking for themselves. You know, everybody's going to be everybody's going to be attracted to different things, right?
Yes.
And different lives. So that's what creates the diversity of thought. But then once you just say no, Democrat and Republican, now you just got to appeal to two people. You talking to two people. Yo. Hey, Glay Anthony, bro.
Yo,
Glay Anthony, bro.
this nigga just broke the whole bird down.
Bro, that's how I'm looking at it, bro. Like, don't give away your power. Don't join that gang. Like, you just giving your vote away.
This nigga broke the whole bird down.
Yo, man. Yeah, man. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know if anybody blowed away like me in the chat, bro.
Yeah.
But
And to Phyllis's point, yeah, Phyllis, you're absolutely right. Don't completely trust anyone. But Tucker is telling a lot of truths, not completely, but better than before. Absolutely. And you know what I like? That's 100% true. And what I like about certain people is when you can acknowledge certain past mistakes, when you can come out here and now call out a lot of the things that everybody else is scared to call out, and call it out in a way where it's like, damn, he acknowledging that, he doing all this. So this is, to me, Tucker's way of repenting in a way, like him repairing all the mistakes that he made in the past. I like that. I just like the direction of it. Now, I'm not sitting here saying I'm not a fan of anybody. I don't think we should. What did we say yesterday? Don't be fans of us. As far as if you being a fan of somebody, it's going to alter you being critical or you processing or you evaluating them, and instead just going along with whatever they say. That's not healthy. Like, we want y'all to be critical. Be critical. So therefore, if you're critical of me, it's like people that do well on tests, they like taking tests. You know, like the kids that do well on tests in class, they're like, yeah, I don't mind taking the test. It's just going to show how good the people, you don't mind the test when you're prepared for it. So you don't mind being critiqued when you're actually trying to grow and be better. So that's how I'm looking at it. But let's get into this video, Glay. All right, so this is the one where I want to point out the contradiction in a lot of this stuff. So let me give a little bit of context.
I got to mute up, Glay.
Yo, chill. So let me give a little context. So Nick Fuentes, he's come out, and this is what a lot of people, I think, have come out and said, I'm cool with going with the regime change in Venezuela, but I'm not okay with maybe us getting involved in Iran. And a lot of people have said that because they think that, and he referenced this Monroe Doctrine that we talked a little bit about before. The Monroe Doctrine has been interpreted and reinterpreted in a way to say, like, hey, we can get involved in foreign affairs that occur on this hemisphere, but anything outside of our hemisphere, because we're separated by oceans, we are protected in a way, so we shouldn't get involved in those foreign issues. Now, when that was written, I don't know to what extent we had nuclear powers to where you could just press a button or do a drone attack, you know, with somebody across the water. It was a lot easier with the technology that we now have. But just based on that, when you hear somebody like Nick saying, like, oh yeah, I'm cool with something in Venezuela because they're a closer threat based on them being in our hemisphere compared to Iran, to me, it's a complete contradiction. But I want to hear what Nick is saying, and then I want y'all to process it before I give my complete opinion on it, and then we'll come through it afterwards. We hear him talking. So let me press play.
Obviously, I oppose this. I am not in favor of regime change in Iran. Everybody calls me a neocon. Let me put this very simply for you. If it's an intervention in the hemisphere that our country is in, I'm probably in favor of it. If it's an intervention on the half of the world that our country is not in, I'm probably against it. People say that's a flip-flop. People say that's a contradiction. People say this is, you know, I say some good things, some bad things. It's really very simple. If the intervention is happening between the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean and the Americas, I probably think it's a good idea. Greenland, Panama, Cuba, Venezuela, sure. If it's an intervention on the side of the planet that we don't live in, that we're separated from by an ocean on either side that has nothing to do with us, probably against it. War in Iran, war in Ukraine, war in Congo, probably against it. But people are saying that's a flip-flop. One day he says he's in favor of Venezuela. The next he says he's against Iran. Yeah. Called Monroe Doctrine, hemispheric defense, what we've always been in favor of. Iran is all the way over there. Doesn't really pose a threat to us. Venezuela, Cuba, they're right here. You could throw a rock and hit Cuba. And they're getting their oil from Venezuela like it's right here. That's America first. Anyway, so it goes without saying I'm against this whole thing. I think that the country that needs to be restrained is Israel. Israel is pushing this, the subversion, the destabilization, the march towards war. This is what Israel wants. This is in their best interest. It really doesn't matter for us. And look, Iran is pursuing a rapprochement with Saudi Arabia.
Let me stop it right there. So you hear him saying that like the countries that are within our hemisphere, those are the threats. To me, it's just a huge contradiction, because when you talk about, and maybe he actually does go into a little bit more detail, but I'll give the context in case. Hold on. I think I would have to go a little bit earlier, keep playing, but I'll give the context anyway. His whole reasoning for not getting into an issue with Iran is because they're not close to our hemisphere, which makes them not a threat. But then he goes on, and I should have kept playing it. Let me keep playing it. I'm sorry. Let me keep playing it.
With Egypt, with all these other countries, we could work with Iran just like we worked with Saudi Arabia. People say it's an Islamist country that kills women and gays. It's like, dude, we are allies with Saudi Arabia for 100 years. You think it's impossible to be allied with a theocracy? Of course we could have a working relationship with Iran. Of course we could. It just has to be built up over time with mutual assurances, trust. The country that is undermining that relationship is Israel, because they want us to do their bidding. They want to sabotage that, and they want to take that off of the table so that our only option is a decisive military confrontation, which happens to be the only way Israel is going to get rid of Iran. So I don't want Iran to have a nuclear bomb, but I also don't support regime change. I like the nuclear deal. Let him have a nuclear deal. You can build a balancing architecture between them and Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia could get a nuclear program. Iran has a nuclear program. Just have some kind of trigger mechanism. If Iran reaches a certain point, then the Saudis and the Emiratis activate theirs. Like, wouldn't that be better than another ground war in the Middle East? It's crazy, but it is this country that has been trying to prevent that from happening. They need to be restrained. And if we could hold them back, then we could do what we want with Iran. So anyway, that's that. But I do want to move on. We're going to take a look at our...
Hold on. I want to... bouncing all over the place on y'all. If I can't get it, then I'll just...
Escalation, which will lead inevitably to a decisive confrontation. And what does that mean? It means a straight up war. Because how are you going to decapitate the Iranian regime? It's not like Venezuela where you kidnap one guy. You can't just shoot their missiles from the air. This is a hardened, fortified regime. They're underground. They build their missiles underground in underground cities. And they're not these little tunnels like Hamas digs. They're actually like cities. These are fortresses underground, and they're dug in. You want to kidnap the Ayatollah? We don't even know where he is. Maduro... They clocked him. They knew. The Ayatollah, they couldn't find him last year. So this is not Venezuela. This is not Assad. This is not Gaddafi. This is a serious country with a serious capability and military. And if you want to overthrow this government, it's going to involve armed resistance, probably from the Kurds, from Balochistan, from ISIS, from maybe some kind of liberal opposition, supplemented by U.S. air power. But even that won't be enough. I really, truly believe that in the end, it is going to demand some kind of U.S. ground force.
Okay, perfect. That worked out well. Okay, so this is my understanding of this. He's saying that he doesn't mind us intervening with Venezuela because they're a threat based on them being on our hemisphere. He's saying that he doesn't want to get involved with Iran. They're not on our hemisphere. He's referencing the Monroe Doctrine. This is where the contradiction comes into place for me. I don't care whether Venezuela is in our hemisphere or not. Everything that he's saying when it comes to Iran, it seems like they are much more of a threat than Venezuela. Much more of a threat than Venezuela. Now, when it comes to Venezuela, what were people saying to convince us to go to war or to have a regime change in Venezuela? When he wanted to justify us doing that in Venezuela, he's saying because they are a threat to us. But notice that he's saying that, well, Venezuela is a threat to us, so therefore we can do regime change. But then when it comes to Iran, he's saying, well, Venezuela is not a threat. You know, we could just go in there one day, take over Maduro. They don't really have anything. Meanwhile, Iran, they got the underground capabilities, fortresses underground. They are much more advanced. So my point is, so then why are we even getting involved in Venezuela if they're not a threat? I thought the whole point of us getting involved with Venezuela is because they are some sort of threat to us. They lied to us saying that it was about drugs. Then they started saying it's about oil and admitting it was about oil. But they lied to us saying, like, oh, well, China gets its oil from Venezuela. And then Nick actually broke down on this show or a previous show where he was saying the amount of oil that China deals with when it comes to Venezuela is minimal. So it just kind of calls out a lot of these contradictions. It's like you're telling me this story one day, saying that it's okay to go in there and push for a regime change, which is ultimately a war with Venezuela. You're saying that that's okay. That's okay. And you're justifying it by saying that, oh, because they were a threat to us for fentanyl, even though none of the fentanyl that really comes into America comes from Venezuela. You're saying that it's the drugs with the fentanyl. You're saying that, oh, well, it's because of the oil. And if the oil, bro, all of this stuff is just extortion. We want to go into Venezuela because we want to extort them for their oil. It has absolutely nothing to do with anything else. The war with Iran, when it comes to Iran is just, we're just being pushed into that because of Israel. So now we're going to have to get involved in a very big conflict because Israel can't handle Iran by themselves. Now we're going to be having American troops that are now putting their lives at risk, dying, all for what? What is all of this for? So it just goes back to like these circular conversations in order to justify this war, to justify that war. This is why for me, it always comes back to like, yo, we just can't allow war, period. War is the crime. There aren't war crimes. They're just war is the crime, because once war is always acceptable and on the table. And once again, what do we say? Hey, we run that. We run the country, not the politicians. Mm-hmm. So because we've made it acceptable to have wars, now these politicians are running around creating all this chaos, killing people, death, destruction through extortion. You know what I'm saying? Or to create extortion. And we're just sitting back okay with it. Mm-hmm. So it's more so just from an understanding point of view. And maybe when we have some American troops forced to get involved in an issue with Iran, maybe that will be the wake-up call that we need to say, like, nah, we can't do any of this. Mm-hmm. Stop trying to fuck with Venezuela. Stop trying to do Israel's bidding with Iran. Focus on America. Focus on America. But everything is just a confused game. Like, okay, they're going to have ICE up here. We're going to talk about the Somalis. We're going to talk about the Muslims. We're going to talk about all these different things. We're going to go to war with this group, that group. Everything is just designed to cause chaos. So we can't even really pinpoint exactly what the issue is. And therefore, they're just kind of running circles around us, doing whatever they want to do to push their agendas. That's kind of how I'm seeing it. So the more we're aware of all of this going on, hopefully we can take our power back and stop voting for this stuff at all. Stop supporting these people, period, and figure out a different way to go about things. Because if we don't, we are going to continue going in this war cycle. We're going to continue going in that path. But hopefully, like we said on the beginning of the show, we can wake up, realize like, hey, we need a different option. All of these, the lesser of two evils, it's not working. So this is kind of where my mindset is on this. But just wanted to, discuss that a little bit, because right now it looks like now we may, I know Trump said yesterday that the killing is stopped with the protests and stuff. So it seems like we may have a war on our hands with Iran. And who knows what's going to end up happening with Venezuela and Maduro? Who knows what's going to end up happening with Cuba, with Trump making these threats, Colombia, Greenland? Who knows what's going to happen with all this stuff? But if we allow it, they're going to do whatever it is that they want because it's good for them. It's good business for them. It puts money in their pockets. All of these different things. War is good for business, but just terrible for our souls, bro. And obviously the business has been winning. That's kind of how I see it. That's kind of how I see it, Clay.
I got nothing for you on this, guy.
But, and this is where, and I said, I was talking to Maya earlier. I sent her the title. She was like, yeah, because I was like, yo, it's going to be a positive show. And then I sent her the thumbnail. She's like, yeah, that doesn't look like a positive show. I'm like, well, I know how I want to end it. I don't know how it's going to start, the middle, whatever, but I know how I want to end it. But this is a calling for all of us to not get too frustrated. When we get too frustrated, when we get too overwhelmed, I was talking to my mom yesterday. She was saying, like, when I hear the news, I just get so depressed, like hearing all of this stuff. Nah. And this is why people who think like that, they need us to lead the way. They need us to help organize. They need everybody to come together because people are getting overwhelmed. And when the people that actually want to come together for good get overwhelmed, the evil is going to win, bro. They're just going to, because they're not getting overwhelmed. Their motivations are so different than ours. It's like they're led by such demonic energy. And a lot of times that energy, that may be easier for them to wake up and get up in the morning than it is for us to just wake up and be inspired to do good and bring positivity, especially when we have such discouraging, depressed, of a mindset just based on all the things that we're consuming. We feel hopeless.
Yeah, as much as you want to believe that being good, as much as you want to think that when you truly are striving to be a good person, that's enough motivation, you have to counter that and say, imagine if the goal is evil, to win by any means, to violate. Bro, that'll get a motherfucker up at 4 o'clock in the morning. If you telling me if I can go violate and I can go put up 100 M, if you telling me I can go run a play and I'm gonna have and I can guarantee this victory, you tell me I can go deflate these footballs and I might be able to win this Super Bowl. Oh nah, I'm gonna go above and beyond to have a competitive edge, and that's what we keep saying. For some reason, America has by any means necessary, violate who you got to violate to win. This game holds no prisoners. Everybody is disposable. Everybody better get on board. Very, very, and it's fear that is driving Americans. People are afraid to speak out. People are afraid to chase their dreams. People are afraid to go against their grain. They're afraid to raise their hand in the class and tell these kids in the back, because the kids in the back making it seem like you say anything in class, when we got outside, it's up. Mm-hmm. And so everybody on some shit like, hey man, I don't want no trouble. I don't want no trouble until the other cats pull up into the class. And then they on the same energy, like, look, I'm with whatever the fuck you on, but I'm not off that. And then that's all of a sudden you start putting the battery.
I heard you say, I don't want no trouble. I heard you say, I don't want no trouble.
Oh, yeah.
After that, I don't know if it froze for the audience, but.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me do it. So it's just like, but when you get some new cats in the class that's big, that's got big dog energy, that's willing to go there, that's willing to spin, that ain't tripping off none of that, and they on the good guy side, yo, I don't care about what the fuck you talking about. We can handle what we ever need to handle outside. And that's the energy that you got to really match with people that are being divisive and against tribalism. You got to let them know, I'm willing to go exactly where you're willing to go. I'm just not on your fucking team. Mm. When they realize you with the same shit they on, you spinning the same way, you willing to die for positivity just as much as you're willing to die for negativity, all of a sudden, everybody can't fall back. They're like, oh shit, you know what I mean?
I'm
You
on the
can't pull
same
the
shit
fear.
you on, bro. What's up?
Yeah. So the fear different. When the people that are fighting for good ain't as scared like the people ain't that is fighting for bad, all of a sudden that's the equalizer. All of a sudden everybody tighten up. All of a sudden when the athlete when the little kid keep getting picked on, and then the starting quarterback like, yo, leave him the fuck alone. All of a sudden the little gangbangers in the back like, all right, man, just chill, bro. And everybody giggling and laughing at your ass. Yeah, sit that little shit down. You lame for that. Like, that's what be happening. This is what we see in politics. Once people start seeing I'm with the same shit you on, it keeps people in their fucking lane. It's fear that keeps people in line. It's not good. It's not necessarily striving for humanity. These aren't driving forces for these people. This doesn't get their engines going. People are running off of fear. I'm scared of this. I go to work because I'm scared of this. I don't do this because I'm scared of this. I stay here because I don't say this because I'm scared. It's fear that's driving direction. So it's no wonder why we're always having compromising conversations like this, because how often is it people that are violating somebody else because of fear? We're not infiltrating Venezuela because we have good intentions. It's fear. You know what I mean? We're not infiltrating. We're not double tapping this. We're not going over to Iran to help. It's fear. We are being driven through fear or potential situations that can potentially, we don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Why? Because we're in fear. So when your decisions are made from fear and not from confidence, there's no reason. Of course, there's not going to be an alignment here. You've got people that are moving with humanity and purpose, and you got other people that are scared shitless.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I can't relate to being scared. I can't relate to being scared to walk in my purpose. I can't relate for you being scared, and this is why you're changing the algorithm, or you're buying up social media platforms, or you don't want Americans to know the past. We don't operate from that space. So we can't relate. We don't understand, Elon. We don't understand these things that you guys are pushing, because we don't move in fear. And maybe that's why everybody is not quite understanding. And if you find yourself relating to these type of people that are constantly pushing this narrative of tribalism, negativity, et cetera, then you have to make sure, is what I believe in invested in confidence, or is it based on fear? Do I clench my purse because I'm confident that I can do what it takes to protect her, or am I in fear that something may happen, so I do this, or I make a route? And when you start realizing that you may be mixing the two, then you got to reverse engineer that, so you can put yourself in a position where, look, I only step out, or I only pop out when I know. And if I don't know, one thing I won't do is be I won't be a PA system for negativity until I know. I'm not willing to step out there and speak on what I believe in until I know what it is that I believe in. I'm not going to be a vessel for propaganda if I don't know how the hard facts. So you got to be slow to commit to when we hear things from propaganda, politics, et cetera, because like you're saying, I'm over here rooting this, that, and the third, America first, and then Dak over here telling me, nigga, they lying. I'm like, oh shit, I was ready to spin for these niggas.
Mm.
Yo, I was ready to go outside. I'm like, yo, what do we do? And then he was like, no, nigga, they lying. That shit they posted on that was fake news. That 9/11 shit was fake. I'm like, nigga, I was spinning for these niggas. What?
Mm.
That's what be happening to the people. So it's just like, you need these vessels of truth, because when you have truth and you have exposure, then it's very difficult for you to spread rhetoric, in my opinion, if you just the ain't shit type of nigga. And if you ain't shit, then you need to be pinpointed. We need to know that.
Yeah, that's a fact. And real quickly, just want to shout out Mama Lay. Love the quotes, Finn. True. I saw a couple people saying, like, where y'all getting these quotes from? Steve and Finn, they always got the quotes, man.
Yeah. Steve, Finn, Abu Han starting to catch on. Yeah.
Yeah. But to everything that you're saying, bro, it's spot on, bro. It's spot on. And the more information we get, and we do have an advantage, because like you started off the show saying, deep down, people are inherently not bad, right? I don't know if it's a stretch. And I know somebody said, what is good? I guess I would determine good as just by, maybe we should say golden. Just people that accept and live by the golden rule, just treating others the way that we want to be treated, just being a decent person. So understanding that, we were taught that, hey, if you do bad, there's a lot of advantages that come with it. It's a shorter line to cut, rather than just waiting online. All these we were taught these things. So deep down, we know, even when we're doing those things, that they're wrong. Deep down, we know. You talk to any gangbanger. Deep down, they know. They may just victimize themselves and say, well, because I was born in these circumstances, well, I ain't got no others. So it's the lesser of two evils. That's what they think they're choosing in their mind. But deep down, they know. So if we can match that energy, like you said, like, oh, you doing all that bad? Yeah, we're going to match it with this good. We're going to overmatch it. You willing to take it there? Well, I'm willing to go here.
Yeah.
That's what, I mean, when you look at it, shoot, what did Jesus do?
He was ready to.
Oh, you willing to kill? You ready? You willing to kill? I'm ready. I'm willing to die. You know what I'm saying? Like that was it. Like I don't know if anybody else is willing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like and what ended up happening? The legend. He was martyred. That's why there's a lot of power in martyrship. Not that martyrdom or whatever you want to call it. Nobody's looking to be that, but sometimes it just happens.
Mm-hmm.
So but I will tell you this. Probably the only thing that would have prevented Jesus from being a martyr if more people just got on board. Nah, we're not allowing that. It's easy to just pinpoint one person and pick on that one person, but nah, we're not allowing that. So
that's when you see that. That's when you see government changes, and then I forgot that country we were talking about, with the young generation like set their presidential house on fire. Remember we was talking about a couple months ago. It was like in Nepal or something, where like the young.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, it was like the young cats. They like got on social media.
Oh yeah, they voted somebody in or something like that on Discord.
Yeah, Discord. They were saying where they would meet up, and then they would meet up through Discord, and then they kicked the current guy out, and then they said y'all not letting nobody. We ain't letting nobody else in, and then they let some new cats on. And I'm not saying we got to go rogue like that, but I'm just exemplifying the power is in the numbers, in the people, in there's a reason why there's so much division. And like you said, when you divide people based on color, then you divide people based on gender, then you divide people based on you can go color, then you can go ethnicity, then you divide people based on religious belief, then you go divide people based on political beliefs, then you go divide based on where they from as far as states, what state they read. Then you divide people based on, are they urban or are they suburbs? Then you divide people based on, like, when you keep chopping the bird down, bro, by the time we get to the end, when somebody ready to take a hit, bro, that joint, it ain't what it was when it was just the brick. You know what I mean? It wasn't what it was. It wasn't as pure. But now you done chop, and then they come in with all these situations, which we saw when I think about a lot of how they talked about in history about how Europe was able to conquer Africa in a lot of the villages, is because the villages were already separated just by whether it be logistics or tribalism, whatever reason allowed the villages to be separate. And when there was division amongst the two, there was obviously going to be conflict. And when men are anytime men around, the only way they know how to solve conflict is to put a bullet through another man's head. They don't know no other way. So when you got egotistical men, then one wants to harm the other side, and then now you see a situation where Europeans slide in and say, "Look, we got this. We'll trade you for this. Y'all got beef with them, right?" And then turn around and go be given the same people on the other side the same ammunition and weapons that are constantly pushing the war even further and further, and y'all benefiting from who's being captured. That's a play. But if these two people, let's just say in hindsight, aren't divided, then they're together. You're gonna have a hard time just pulling up on Africa if they all won. It's a lot easier when they doing this. Is it realistic to believe that everybody's gonna be one? No, but we don't need to make it this fucking easy. If you black, white, Christian, Muslim, man, y'all got to put that to the side, bro. If this our land, then we gotta have each other's back, bro. That's the only way politicians can't continue to do that sucker shit when they do it, bro. What's got all these politicians scared when you keep saying, "Oh, the Epstein's files gonna be released"? Why they get shook? Because they like, yo, we might get exposed in the people. Nigga, if they didn't give a damn, nigga, they know the people. If the people start chopping it up, life gonna be a lot difficult for me to walk these streets. When I'm dishonest, when I'm lying, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just like, we got to know, like, the strength is in the unity. It's in the togetherness. It's in, I mean, I'm not tripping on what you're doing, bro. As long as you ain't swerving out your lane and, you know what I mean? Don't be throwing your dog shit on my side of the line, bro. It's all love. Y'all can come over here. Y'all can use the grill, too. And then y'all can use the hose. Let the kids use the hose, bro. It's all fam. It's all love. And just have a mutual respect. Treat others like you say, the golden rule. Bro, we ain't got no problem. This all our backyard. Let's fuck around with it. And politicians, y'all gonna have to tighten up, because if you don't, we'll tighten you up, and we willing to do whatever you willing to do. We willing to go there too. We willing to stop using our money. Since y'all think, since y'all hop into politics, y'all don't hop into politics for influence. Y'all hop into politics for money. We gonna stop our dollar. Oh, on Discord, yeah, we ain't shopping there. Shut that down. All of a sudden, we see change.
Straight like that.
You know what I mean? Like you said with MLK, it wasn't the walks. I think it was the bus. No, we ain't getting off that shit. Fuck that. We walking. Oh shit. All of a sudden we see change. So we don't have to go like we saw Nepal go. We can, okay, this what we on. We ain't doing this no more. And you see it, like you said, I saw with even with like the ICE agents, you know, regardless of your position on ICE agent, I don't care about all that. But I'm saying they started an app to communicate and to notify other people. I saw this one on the Joe Budden podcast, but they started an app to communicate with people, kind of like Ring, like, you know, your doorbell Ring thing, to notify people where ICE locations were at. So if people wasn't on, like, if they knew, they was giving the heads up, like, yo, we just realized ICE is over here at this Shell gas station. Y'all keep a lookout. On some Underground Railroad energy.
That's exact. Damn.
Yeah. So that's what I'm fucking with. I'm just like, damn, look at that unity. That wasn't separated by race, religion. That wasn't separated by color. It didn't matter. Somebody created the app. People are infused in it because we looking out for our America, our people. So it's just like, damn, like, y'all be so ready to do to not use your innovation in a good way. Why are we always using innovation to separate ourselves, bro? Like, fuck all that. Like, use it for good so we can't continue to be controlled. If you got to shop, and like we said, if Samira is selling healthy, organic that's where our money going. Y'all not going to keep putting Jergens, honey nut lotion in Publix. My money don't go there until they figure out, when they flip that label and the ingredients don't have A, B, C, D, E, F, Z, X, Y, Z. Like, we're not spending our dollars there because y'all don't listen no more. We shop local. Where the farmers at? Where the farmers market at? Okay, that's where I'm at. I'm not going to Publix because they keep selling me shiny apples. I don't want that shit no more. Oh, medication. Oh, y'all keep giving this to my mom, and y'all see how she be on the same medication for 30 years. Y'all, she ain't healed yet. You know what? We not off that. Where do we go for the teas? Where do we go for the food? Where do we go for the exercise? Where do we go for the yoga, the grounding? That's where we spending our dollars. Don't let this keep fearing us into believing that these things are required. You might have to be not as comfortable. You know, you won't get that convenience. Uber Eats, look, it's not going to compete with Uber Eats just yet if we don't devote our attention to it to help it develop and innovate. That's how Uber has become what it's become, is because it's taken advantage of our want for convenience. And now look at it. It's a $1 billion company that runs so much of the world now because we put our attention there. We got to move our attention and our focus and our money into the right places and support things in the community so that we can, over time, continue to teach the youth that, oh, nah, we support the community and this thing really grows and grows bigger and nobody can control it. This is the blockchain. There's crypto now. You can't put your hands in my money no more. That's what we got to get back to.
Yeah, bro, you spot on, Glad, with everything. You spot on. We let's not have to wait till the aliens to come back for us to unite.
Yeah.
Let's not have to wait for the aliens, because I'll be honest, man. Well, if they do come, they're gonna rock with us. They're gonna rock with good energy. Energy's energy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you spot on. You spot on.
Yeah, we gotta chime in.
I got my marching orders.
You got your who?
My marching orders.
Oh, what's that?
Like I got my directions from the show.
Oh, yeah.
I got my directions. So
Mm-hmm.
I
That's
guess
what we
it's
got.
9:51.
Yes.
Let's wrap it up. You got the
Yeah.
thing
You got
today.
the breathing? You got to breathe them? Because I did it yesterday and you're not gonna play me again.
You
'Cause
did
I got
yesterday?
You see how Yak, y'all? I want y'all to witness live how he be. Now he got a bad memory. All that he remembers, but he don't remember who closed it out yesterday.
Glade Bow.
Oh
Glade
man.
Bow, man. Hey, let's remember. We just within the power here. Like, let's be clear, because a lot of times, and this is where even when I was remember I was saying that I was in that conference and I'm sitting here like, yo, all these wealthy cats in here, if y'all wanted to make a difference, you can make a difference tomorrow. Yo, just what we got in here right now, 36 viewing, 2 of us, 38. Just within what we have right now, there have been movements started with less people than this.
Yeah.
There have been significant movements started with less people than this. Shout out Bug in the building. I see you, Bug. So with that being said, let's just do what we can. Let's keep pushing that positivity, whatever that means for you. Let's become as successful as we can. Let's maximize our potential, all the things that we know are needed in order to compete with this evil that we're up against. However, whatever form it comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make sure that we are just our best versions of ourselves. We put out that fitness challenge, or that challenge that it wasn't just fitness, it was reading. Read at least, what was it? You just open up a book, got to read a page a day. It was walking at least 5,000 steps, and then it was breaking a sweat, and I forget what else it was.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just be reminded that we have to be the best versions of ourselves when we're our most healthiest, our most intelligent, focused, whatever it may be, loving, happy in a lot of ways. When we are all of those things, we are at our best, and we are least likely to be persuaded by the shortcuts, the evil in order to get us to the top, all the things that are not the golden rule of treating others the way we want to be treated. So let's be positive. Let's have a positive outlook with this, because the time is now. And why would we want to be born during another time? Like we want to be known as the group that got this ship turned around. So we should be thankful to be in this opportunity, to be right here where we are right now. So let's get into this box breathing. Shout out to Big Bro Steve. He introduced this technique to us. We're going to do, and make sure you like. Do us a favor, because probably some people will be on their way out who may not want to do the breathing, but I shouldn't assume that. So let's just get into the breathing. So it's going to be a 4-second inhale, focus on intentionally inhaling positive energy. All right. Then we're going to do a 4-second hold. Let that positive energy brew. Then we're going to do a 4-second exhale, getting rid of all that negative energy. Do a 4-second hold, and then we're going to repeat it 3 more times for a total of 4 cycles. So if you're in a safe place, close your eyes if you feel comfortable, and let's go from there. So we're going to start with our 4-second positive, intentional, good energy inhale now. Ready, begin. Hold. Release. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. Exhale negative energy. Hold. Inhale positive. Hold. Exhale. Hold. All right, our last series. Keep holding. Be very intentional with this next inhale. Ready, begin. Hold. All right, keep holding. We get ready to release the last bit of that remaining negative energy. Let it out. Hold. All right. Glade, did you hear my neck crack when we were doing that? Dang, that joint sounded loud. All right. Well, y'all know what we come here to do, man. We're elevating on purpose, man. Both from an intentional standpoint. We're raising our standards, man. We're raising our standards to become the best leaders we can become, to grow into the people we need to grow into. All right. Let's keep striving. Let's become our greatest self. Let's become the greatest versions of ourselves, so that way we can inspire others to do the same. All right. Strength and honor, onward and upward. Let's get to that bag, man. That bag is focusing on all the things that we're doing throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, that are ultimately going to add into what's going to be our impact on this world, our village, our tribe, all of the above. All right. So let's live in our purpose as we strive for that purposeful abundance, man, and make sure we're on the right trajectory to accomplishing all these goals that we set for ourselves. So the things that are in your bag, you got to do your due diligence. But what I like to focus on: peace, love, happiness, health, wealth, and everything we do, integrity. And of course, got to add that balance on there and put it in that big perspective pot that BK likes to talk about. So finish us off, Clay.
Yeah, that was good, man. That was a very thorough, in-depth conversation, continuing to strengthen the foundation and understanding how important mindset is going into these wars and these battles. Whether the battles and wars are internal, mindset is going to be the key to success in all of these. And so we can't reiterate that enough, that it's very, 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 very important to establish these things and do your best in making sure that you don't fall victim to what the news, the CNNs, the social medias, like all these people that are being moved by fear. Make sure that you establish what being moved by by confidence looks like. And it's far different than what being moved by fear is. And so it's very important, like, you do your things, you get your steps, you get your food, you drink your waters, you breathe, you do your box breathing throughout the day. You check in on your family, you give your best friends a call. You need all these things to keep the right mindset, especially when we're fighting evil, because it's working overtime while you sleep. So I encourage us to continue to do that. And, it may start off with 30 people and it's going to continue to grow. And once we realize that there's a reason why there are two political parties, and the reason behind that, so that they can take advantage of us, then we start to realize that we're not going off none of that. It's that you need to impress the American people, not the Republican Party. And so once we realize that you can't divide us, we're not going off of that. Once you're okay still being able to register as a Republican and still vote Democrat, once you realize that you are in control of what you associate yourself for and what you vote for and what you subscribe to, can't nobody run in there and be divisive. Can't nobody break down the family when the family is tight. Can't nobody break a relationship when the relationship is tight. But when it's loose and it's got gaps, this is where evil likes to play at. This is when these people that are willing to violate you and do things that are questionable in order to win, they love that environment. It's moist, it's dark, it's nasty. That's where they be at. And so make sure that you always live in your best self. You're always transparent. You're always pursuing the pursuit of happiness. You're always searching for the truth and understanding that the truth can change. And give yourself the grace and the opportunity to allow that. And that's it, bro. It ain't too difficult, it ain't too hard, although it may feel like that. And then you just come get your recharge at 8 a.m. with the boys in the fucking morning, baby. Let's go.
I love it, Glay. I love it, Glay. We got a lot of quotes. We putting them on the bottom of the show. We always appreciate y'all ending the show with us, giving such wise words. Unc said, man, smoke some more ganja. People that smoke ganja are usually the happiest you saw. Hell, I'm crazy. Crazy, man. We need to take a trip up in the woods in Jamaica, man, and
Yeah,
see how
man.
those people are living. That's why I want to travel a lot, man.
Yeah,
That's
man.
why I want to travel, man.
Mhm.
Yo, y'all crazy, bro. Yeah, y'all funny, man. All right, man. Appreciate y'all all as always, and of course, got to finish off the show with Quee sending the fire emojis. We'll see y'all tomorrow, 8 a.m. Ew.